Hello everyone, a very logical day to all of you. Yes, so today is Saturday, so your weekend starts. And what have you decided to do on your weekend? Yes, you enjoy, you relax, but make one more resolution, small one, that you're going to complete all the pending work in your preparations that you have in this week. So if you complete whatever you have missed doing, if you complete it on Saturday and Sunday, that means you will not have anything pending for a very long time in your preparation. So you'll be able to do chunks by chunks. खत्म होते जाएगा धीरे 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 धीरे. You'll be able to complete all your targets. You'll be able to achieve all the work that you have to actually do regarding your preparations. And then let's see what we have to do today, because this is again a part of your preparation that you have to read and you have to work on your vocabulary. But what we are going to do today is we'll be reading, we'll be discussing the article, but the central idea would be like a simple sentence again. But then we will be missing out on the vocabulary today, because this article doesn't contain many difficult words. Just a few which we'll be taking simultaneously along with the reading of the article, right? So, rules of crypto. Cryptocurrency becomes a very familiar topic for all of you. तो इजी हो जाएगा समझना. क्रिप्टो करेंसी पे आर्टिकल आता है तो यू विल बी वेरी हैप्पी. ठीक है, अरे वाह कितना बढ़िया आर्टिकल है, सब समझ में आ जाएगा. So we still have to extract the central idea. That's it. So the central government has tightened the regulatory control over virtual digital assets, more commonly known as cryptocurrencies. Tightened on the virtual digital assets. Now, according to a Gazette notification, the government has mandated that a host of trading activities in such assets will now come under the ambit of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Under the ambit of इसमें से समझ में आ जाता है under the control of. क्यों? क्योंकि इसने गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया? It has tightened the regulatory control. Right? If we can get this word here, so we can understand the meaning of the word under the ambit of. In other words, again, going ahead. Now, see, if I take this word also, right? Ambit. It has to do with like the sky, right? Either it is a sky or it is like an umbrella here. So the things that are under the control or under this umbrella, you are going to take control of that. So ये हो गया under the ambit of. राइट. तो ये सारी चीजें जिसके ऊपर तुमने कंट्रोल कर रखा है. तो अभी गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल करेगी किसे? ऐसी सारी क्रिप्टो करेंसीज को, और उसे अपना कंट्रोल, रेगुलेटरी कंट्रोल टाइटन करके रखा है. दैट इज द फर्स्ट पॉइंट by the author. In other words, going ahead, trading between cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies or among cryptocurrencies and other such services can be investigated by agencies such as the Enforcement Directorate and the Income Tax Department. So here we have cryptocurrencies, which most of you can understand, and fiat currencies, which a few might know. So fiat currencies are those currencies which have a legal tender. That means it has a support, it has a backing, you can say, of the government, right? Which for example, the money, the note that we have, rupee that we have, the pound, the euro, the dollar, and any such currencies, right, which people use, the countries use, they are the fiat currencies, because it is actually just a paper note. The paper has no value. The value is about the seal that is there on that note, right? The governor's seal. तभी वो रहता है, आरबीआई गवर्नर सील रहेगा, नोट रहेगा, वैल्यू तभी उसकी बनती है, अदरवाइज तो वो सिर्फ कागज का टुकड़ा है, isn't it? So such currencies which have a legal backing, a legal tender, they are called fiat currencies. Cryptocurrencies हो जाएंगी virtual digital currencies. ठीक है? So such as ये हो गया. The move should be seen in light of the government's efforts to bring cryptocurrencies under greater regulation. Again, you can get this word In April 22, for instance, the government introduced a 30% income tax on gains made from cryptocurrencies. Later in July 22, the government brought in rules regarding 1% tax deducted at source on cryptocurrency. Broadly speaking, greater regulation of cryptocurrencies is advisable. तो greater regulation advisable भी है और वो लाना भी चाहती हैं और गवर्नमेंट ने रेगुलेटरी कंट्रोल को टाइटन भी किया है. सो द थ्री थिंग्स दैट आई हैव मार्क्ड हियर, this and this, again they lead to the greater regulation. ये सब पूरा greater regulation ही चल रहा है. ठीक है, तो ये मेजर पॉइंट हो गई. जब एक पैराग्राफ में वो 3 बार ऑथर बोल रहा है कि ग्रेटर रेगुलेशन चाहिए, टाइटन द रेगुलेटरी कंट्रोल चाहिए, तो व्हाट एल्स विल बी द मेन आइडिया देन, isn't it? So this is how you need to identify the leave the rest. You don't need to remember the rest, because if there's a question on it, then you'll be able to understand our market also without reading it again. Now, the starting point of this regulation is the government's decision to not accept cryptocurrencies as currencies and instead treat them as virtual digital assets. तो हम उसको currency नहीं मानेंगे. They are the assets. That lack of recognition strikes at the heart of what cryptocurrencies essentially aim to do: provide an alternative to regulated currencies. The fundamental aim behind cryptocurrencies and the attractiveness is that they are designed to bypass the financial system and existing regulation. Right? This is the fundamental aim behind cryptocurrencies and why the people are attracted to it, because they are designed in such a manner that they will bypass the financial system and existing regulation, ताकि वो regulation को circumvent कर सके. चलो, bypass का एक अच्छा word आपके लिए हो जाएगा circumvent. ठीक है, इसका मतलब बाहर के बाहर निकल जाना, उसे बाईपास रोड कहते हैं ना यूजुअली. So they will not enter this financial system. They will not be included in the financial system. They will be bypassing the financial system and therefore the existing regulations. As such, they aim to evade being traced or confiscated or frozen by the governments. Now, see, if you did not know the meaning of bypass, you still can understand the meaning of evade. इवेड इज टू एस्केप. तो इससे क्या हो जाएगा, अगर वो फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम को बाईपास करते हैं, इसका मतलब वो खुद को बचाते हैं. कैसे बचते हैं वो? उसे कोई ट्रेस नहीं कर सकेगा, कॉन्फिस्केट यानी जब्त नहीं कर सकेगा, और फ्रीज नहीं कर सकती है गवर्नमेंट उसको. जैसे किसी के बैंक अकाउंट्स फ्रीज हो जाते हैं, तो ऐसे ये नहीं हो सकेगा. What makes them effective in doing this is that they are anonymous in character. Anonymous means having no names. And since they work over the internet, not bound by the physical borders. Right? See, those, I've not taken the words in the end, I'm taking them simultaneously here. So, those who do not know these words will note them down. Right? So, I've given you a few, though these are common words, पर फिर भी मैंने उसको दिए थे. हो सकता है किसी को नहीं पता हो तो वो लिख सकते हैं. ठीक है, बाईपास का एक वर्ड दिया सर्कमवेंट. इवेड का मीनिंग है बाईपास. Anonymous means having no name. And since they work over the internet, we'll continue, not bound by the physical borders. But these characteristics also throw up several risks for any economy. For one, absent regulation, they can evade minimum prudential norms such as know your customer regimes, anti-money laundering, and combating the financial financing of terrorism, CFT rules. Each of these gaps increases the chances of cryptocurrencies being used for a range of criminal behaviors. Without effective regulation, there's an even bigger issue at hand. Now, if there was no regulation, then there would be a bigger issue. What is that? Question of monetary sovereignty. Since such private currencies are often pegged to the US dollar. देखो, हमने pegged और flagged कितनी बार यूज किए हैं कि अब तो याद हो ही जाना चाहिए तुम्हें. With greater use, they not only replace the Indian rupee but could also lead to greater dollarization of the Indian economy, even as the monetary and fiscal authorities, that is, monetary is RBI and the fiscal is the government, they lose control. तो जितनी ज्यादा क्रिप्टो करेंसी हो जाएगी, उतनी ज्यादा गवर्नमेंट के कंट्रोल से वो बाहर आता जाएगा. और क्योंकि वो बैक्ड बाय डॉलर है, तो डॉलराइजेशन होता जाएगा. तो दैट मीन्स द गवर्नमेंट विल बी लूजिंग कंट्रोल over this, and therefore what is required is a strict regulation of the cryptocurrencies, जो कि पैसेज ने शुरू में कहा था. The government's move is in line with most regulators and policymakers globally for a while now. IMF has been urging a global architecture for effective regulation of such assets as they cannot be contained by neat geographic divisions. The problem is that they cannot be bound by the physical boundaries. However, as reports in this paper show, the industry entities are concerned about the lack of time given to them for complying with the new norms. अभी new norms बनाए हैं और कोई deadline दिया है, लेकिन ये जो industries हैं, ये उस deadline को follow नहीं कर पाएंगी. This is what they are saying. Moreover, in the interest of the effective regulation, the government must at least, at the earliest, decide on a full-time regulator for this sector and not leave entities trading in cryptocurrencies at the mercy of the investigative agencies alone. That means they have come up with a strict regulation, but then there should be an independent, a full time regulator also concerned with the cryptocurrencies so that the people who are using it or trading in cryptocurrencies they are not left alone or they are alone or stranded but by the investigative agencies alone at the mercy of का मतलब होता है कि उसी की दया पे बैठे हैं. So we'll come up with the main point now. So government's move is in line with policymakers globally. Okay, this was one sentence that we had read, and it must urgently decide on a full-time regulator for this sector. This is also what we can understood. So government's move is like extra or a stricter regulation. So now if you want to frame a sentence also for the central idea, it could be that the government is regulating the cryptocurrency a little more strictly and it needs a full-time regulator. It will soon urgently decide on a full-time regulator and this step of the government is in line with the policymakers globally. So that means the government is working in sync with what the others in the global arena are regarding cryptocurrency or regarding regulation on the cryptocurrency. Right. So I hope you have understood this with a few words that we have discussed. So that will all that's all for today. And see you on Monday. And yes, we might get a good set of words on Monday again. So that's all for today. Thank you.